Deep in the heart of Ashton Hollow, obscured by overgrown foliage and the passage of time, stood the forsaken and decaying Wormwood Manor, an abandoned house that bore witness to decades of secrets and sorrows. Its crumbling facade whispered tales of a dark past, and the haunting silence that enveloped the manor hinted at the horrors that lay within its forgotten halls. Legend had it that Wormwood Manor was once the residence of the enigmatic Blackwell family. Over the years, the house had become a spectral relic, its halls echoing with the unseen residue of past events. Those brave enough to approach spoke of eerie apparitions that flickered in the windows, and rumors of an otherworldly presence that lurked within the shadows spread like a chilling mist. In the dead of night, when the moon cast an ethereal glow upon the crumbling structure, the walls of Wormwood Manor seemed to whisper secrets to those who dared to listen. The wind, carrying the moans of the forsaken, rustled through the skeletal branches that clawed at the house's exterior, creating an eerie symphony that resonated with the spirits of the past. Ashton Hollow's residents, bound by a collective fear, avoided the vicinity of Wormwood Manor. The once grand estate had devolved into a haunting legacy, an ominous reminder of a darkness that refused to be forgotten. It was said that the Blackwell family's tragic demise had cast a malevolent shadow, one that persisted within the desolate halls and dilapidated chambers. Intrigued by the town's whispers and drawn by the allure of the supernatural, a group of paranormal investigators, led by the seasoned investigator Emily Harris, decided to unlock the mysteries shrouding Wormwood Manor. Armed with an arsenal of spectral detection devices, they ventured into the heart of the abandoned house, determined to unravel the enigma that clung to its decaying walls. The investigators' entry into Wormwood Manor was met with an immediate sense of foreboding. The air within the grand foyer hung heavy with the scent of decay, and the grand staircase ascended into the darkness like a portal to the unknown. As they moved deeper, the flickering light of their lanterns cast disconcerting shadows that seemed to dance in macabre tandem with the echoes of the past. The investigation led the team through creaking corridors adorned with tattered wallpaper and faded portraits. Every step echoed like a macabre heartbeat, and the investigators felt an unseen gaze upon them. The residual energy within the house seemed to intensify, as if the very walls harbored memories that yearned to be unearthed. At the heart of Wormwood Manor lay the forgotten ballroom, a once opulent space now consumed by darkness. The investigators, guided by the pulse of spectral energies, witnessed phantom waltzes that unfolded in the obsidian shadows. The ballroom, a ghostly testament to the family's tragic past, seemed to mourn its own lost splendor. As the investigators delved deeper, the malevolent presence within Wormwood Manor began to manifest. Cold spots materialized in the air, and ghastly whispers filled the investigators' ears. Emily Harris, undeterred by the rising tension, sensed an intelligence within the spectral currents, an entity that sought to communicate its torment. Determined to establish contact with the malevolent entity, the investigators arranged a seance in the dilapidated dining hall. The flickering candlelight cast an eerie glow as they chanted incantations to bridge the gap between the living and the supernatural. The atmosphere thickened, and the investigators felt a palpable shift, a spectral force that responded to their summons. As the seance unfolded, the investigators became conduits for the tormented spirits of the Blackwell family. Through them, the entity conveyed a haunting confession, a tale of betrayal, tragedy, and an unspeakable darkness that had consumed the once resplendent manor. The investigators, caught in the spectral current, bore witness to the family's anguish that lingered within the decaying walls. The malevolent entity, fueled by the investigators' unwitting invitation, manifested in a sinister tableau. The dining hall warped into a nightmarish spectacle, a realm where the living and the spectral collided. Shadows coalesced into a ghastly figure, and the investigators found themselves ensnared in a chilling manifestation of the darkness that had plagued Wormwood Manor. Reality fractured as the investigators struggled to escape the malevolent manifestation. The dining hall became a labyrinth of shifting corridors, and the air vibrated with the anguished wails of the trapped spirits. Emily Harris, grasping the severity of the situation, led her team in a desperate attempt to break free from the spectral web that threatened to consume them. As the investigators neared the brink of despair, Emily Harris faced the malevolent entity in an ethereal confrontation. Through sheer force of will, she compelled the entity to confront the darkness that bound it to Wormwood Manor. The spectral currents trembled as the entity, caught between redemption and eternal torment, grappled with the choices that had led to its malevolent manifestation. In a climactic moment, the malevolent entity succumbed to the ethereal currents. Shadows dissipated, and the dining hall returned to its dilapidated state. The investigators, now free from the spectral entanglement, found themselves standing in the haunting silence of Wormwood Manor. The malevolent presence, once bound by darkness, had been released, and the decaying house seemed to exhale a sigh of relief. In the aftermath of the ethereal confrontation, Wormwood Manor retained a sense of unease. The investigators, having glimpsed the darkness that clung to the forsaken house, felt a lingering shadow that persisted even in the waking hours. Ashton Hollow, unaware of the spectral struggles that transpired within its midst, continued to regard Wormwood Manor with an instinctual fear, a collective intuition that echoed the remnants of the malevolent entity's presence. Emily Harris, haunted by the ethereal confrontation, found herself compelled to unravel the lingering mysteries of Wormwood Manor. The investigators' resolve, undeterred by the malevolent encounter, burned like a solitary candle in the encroaching darkness. Determined to bring closure to the forsaken house, Emily delved into historical archives and town records, seeking clues that could shine a light on the shadowy past of Wormwood Manor. In a forgotten corner of Ashton Hollow's archives, Emily stumbled upon a collection of journals that belonged to the Blackwell family. As she leafed through the brittle pages, a narrative unfolded, a tale of forbidden pacts, occult rituals, and a descent into madness that spanned generations. The forgotten journals, their ink stained with the darkness that seeped through the pages, revealed a history intertwined with malevolent forces that had long plagued Wormwood Manor. The Blackwell family, it seemed, had unwittingly invited a curse into their lives, a malevolent force that latched onto their aspirations for power and immortality. As Emily delved deeper into the journals, she discovered a series of arcane rites performed within the very walls of Wormwood Manor. The curse, a consequence of these forbidden rituals, manifested as the malevolent entity that had tormented the investigators. Driven by a newfound understanding, Emily embarked on an expedition within Wormwood Manor. Armed with the knowledge gleaned from the journals, she sought to unearth the artifacts used in the cursed rituals, objects that had become conduits for the malevolent forces that still lingered within the decaying house. The investigators, wary yet resolute, followed Emily into the heart of the forsaken estate. In a hidden chamber beneath the manor, the investigators discovered a long-forgotten seal, a relic intricately inscribed with symbols of an ancient and malevolent origin. The seal, a focal point for the curse that bound Wormwood Manor, resonated with an ominous energy as the investigators circled it. Emily, guided by a combination of historical insight and intuition, discerned that breaking the seal was the key to severing the house from its malevolent past. As the investigators gathered to break the seal, the air within the hidden chamber thickened with a palpable tension. The curse, dormant for decades, fought back with spectral resistance. Shadows flickered, and ethereal whispers filled the chamber as the investigators chanted incantations to unravel the malevolent forces that had taken root within Wormwood Manor. In a surge of ethereal energy, the seal shattered. The house quivered as if awakening from a long and malevolent slumber. Shadows writhed and danced, but unlike before, there was an undercurrent of release, a departure of the malevolent forces that had held Wormwood Manor captive. The investigators, bathed in the spectral surge, felt a profound shift in the energy that permeated the forsaken house. Wormwood Manor, no longer bound by the curse that had plagued it for generations, seemed to exhale a sigh of relief. The investigators, standing within the hidden chamber, bore witness to a transformation, the lingering darkness relinquishing its hold on the forsaken estate. Ashton Hollow, though unaware of the ethereal struggles that had unfolded, felt a subtle shift in the collective apprehension that had surrounded Wormwood Manor. As the investigators exited the forsaken house, the night air carried a different resonance. The haunting silence that once clung to Wormwood Manor had transformed into a stillness, an echo of the restored equilibrium. Emily Harris, gazing back at the decaying structure, felt a sense of closure that transcended the supernatural. The house, no longer shackled by the malevolent forces that had tormented it, stood as a testament to the resilience of the living against the spectral currents. Despite the apparent calm that settled over Wormwood Manor, there were whispers, subtle echoes that lingered in the air. The investigators, attuned to the supernatural currents, began to hear faint murmurs during the night breeze. The town's residents, though oblivious to the spectral struggles, reported peculiar dreams and an inexplicable sense of being watched. The forsaken house, it seemed, still harbored whispers that defied the tangible and transcended the mundane. As days turned into weeks, unexplained phenomena unfolded within Ashton Hollow. Objects shifted inexplicably, and the air crackled with an otherworldly energy. Some residents claimed to see ethereal figures in peripheral visions, and a sense of unease settled over the town like a shroud. The investigators, sensing that the spectral currents had not fully dissipated, returned to Wormwood Manor in an attempt to unravel the lingering mysteries. Within the walls of the restored manor, the investigators encountered residual shadows, remnants of the malevolent forces that clung to the forsaken house. It became apparent that the shattered curse had not vanished entirely. The investigators, now faced with a dilemma, delved deeper into the arcane archives to discern the nature of the lingering shadows that resisted the restorative currents. A careful exploration of Wormwood Manor revealed hidden chambers that had escaped the investigators' notice during the initial confrontation. These concealed spaces, tucked away behind false walls and obscured by spectral illusions, housed artifacts imbued with the remnants of the shattered curse. The investigators, guided by spectral intuition, unearthed relics that emanated with a malevolent energy that resisted dissolution. As the investigators studied the artifacts, they uncovered anomalies that defied conventional understanding. The malevolent forces, once subdued, seemed to adapt and manifest in unpredictable ways. The artifacts, now conduits for the residual shadows, pulsed with an ominous glow that hinted at a deeper and more insidious nature. Emily Harris, facing the renewed challenge, realized that severing the residual shadows required a deeper understanding of the curse's origins. In the forgotten journals of the Blackwell family, the investigators discovered hidden revelations that shed light on the elusive nature of the curse. The curse, it seemed, was not merely an arcane anomaly, but a sentient force, an entity that thrived on the echoes of despair and malice. The investigators, faced with the revelation, understood that breaking the shackles of the curse required an unprecedented level of understanding and unity. Armed with newfound insights, the investigators devised a ritual to foster unity among themselves and confront the residual shadows as a collective force. Within the restored ballroom, the investigators formed a circle, their hands interlinked, and chanted incantations that resonated with the spectral energies. The room vibrated with an ethereal hum as the investigators invoked a unity that transcended the boundaries between the living and the supernatural. As the ritual reached its crescendo, the investigators confronted the residual shadows in a collective effort. The spectral forces, challenged by the unity of the living, recoiled and writhed in a desperate struggle. The investigators, bound by a shared purpose, directed their collective will toward dissolving the lingering remnants of the shattered curse. In a burst of ethereal light, the residual shadows began to dissipate. The artifacts, once conduits of malevolence, lost their ominous glow. The investigators, their unity prevailing over the lingering darkness, felt a profound release. the shackles of the curse finally dissolving into the spectral currents. Wormwood Manor, cleansed of its malevolent legacy, stood as a testament to the enduring power of unity against the supernatural forces that sought to bind it.